Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. I am your humble DM, Tim, and today I'm going to share with you something that I discovered recently that you can do in Tabletop Simulator, namely looping animated videos that will allow you to do really cool background effects. So this is something I was just working on beforehand. One thing that always sort of bothered me a little bit when we were doing Descent into Avernus and games like that was that when you had the chase sequences in the game, you were always stuck with a static board. So, for example, like this, you'd have the thing set up here. You'd have your different vehicles, and then you would just move around as the chase was happening, and it gives you the basic feel of what's going on. But if you really want to spice up your tabletop simulator setup, this is a way you can do it, and it's actually a lot simpler than you might expect. Now, what I discovered was that you can use the tile feature to import video files like MP4s. So this road video is something that I actually recorded myself, edited myself, and made into a loop in order to facilitate this this animation style. I'll give you the basics on how I actually did it. I used Tabletop Simulator to do it, so this might actually help people out. If they're unable to source like a specific animated video, this will give you a rundown on how to make your own. Okay, so let's just delete this because we're going to start from scratch. All right, so once you've loaded up your map, or once you've found your particular bit of texture, so you go online and you can find all sorts of looping textures, so that, or seamless textures, like you'll find things like brick walls and things like that that are the same pattern looping over and over and over again. So what you do is you grab yourself one of those, take yourself into your basic editing software, and what you want to do is create a large looping effect. This was one that was this was what the tile initially was, and then I just created the canvas, made the canvas longer, and then just created a longer version of it. If you wanted to, you could use the smaller version, but it's a bit simpler if you actually create the larger version of it. Once you've done that, you save that, and you import that into Tabletop Simulator as a board. All right. Now, once you've got the tile located, you want to make it so that the board selected. Sorry, you make it so that the base is transparent, so people can't see it. You want to unlock it and rotate it around. Make it of a decent scale, because you don't want it to be too small when you're doing this. Basically, lock it in place. Make a copy. Make another one. And the simplest way to do it is if you click on that one there, hold down Control, click on that one there, and then align it so that it is... So you want to have it so it's angled right, but flat. Then just click on the first one and drag it out, and then just make sure that the overlay creates a seamless gap. Then copy paste, do the same thing again. Okay, so you sort of want a decently long stretch of road like this. Okay, so that's basically how you've got your bit. And then if you want to create an animation, all you do is you set up your OBS program, as I have now, and you make it so that you set it up so that, let me get it lined up here, so that the road takes up pretty much the whole screen, like so. Then, using the menu configuration, turn off all of these and apply. Okay, so as you can see, the thing is now completely blank. Then you hit record, and then using the WASD, using the D key in this instance, just hold it down and let it roll. And that will give you your animation that you will use for the loop. Okay, so you let that run. As you can see here, I've sort of gone a little off tilt here. It's coming off the top there, so you might want to make sure you align the camera properly. I made it a little bit off center here. So it can take a little bit of trial and error. There you go. I think that's probably a better way to do it, but you get the idea. So once you've got it set up, you got yourself a decent run of the entire thing. Let's do it again, just to make sure I've got a second copy. All right, cool. Then all you need to do then is import this, the video file in OBS or from OBS into your video editing software. Now, people out there will have Premiere Pro. You can use that, but for something like this, you don't need it to be anything super powerful. Out there, you can still find the old version of Windows Live 2012, the Windows Movie Maker program from that would work perfectly in this instance if you want to use that. So, but I will be using Premiere Pro as the example here because that is the program that I have. Actually, you know what? I will actually just show you how to use it using Windows Movie Maker just for the hell of it. So let's open up Windows Movie Maker. All right, so all you need to do now is grab the file that you just created. It's in my raw footage folder. Here we go. You copy that in there, and that gives you the bit of footage here. So you can see I've got like top and bottoms on this version here because I use Windows Movie Maker to edit that out. I basically just enlarge it up. But if I had to use the recording that I was using before, where I full screened it properly, you won't necessarily need to do that. But anyway, all you need to do now is using the program, find where you want the loop to begin. There we go. Whoops, hang on. You want the loop to begin. So just as that one comes off, so you want to go right click and you want to split and you want to delete that bit there. And then you want to take it to the end and make sure that the end of the loop has basically the same beginning as the last one. There you go there, split and delete. If you really want to, if you're not too sure that the loop is going to work, another way you can do it, actually that isn't going to work, I've got that set up incorrectly, because the beginning is that there, so I want that to be like so, there we go, split, there we go. But another way you can do it if you're not sure about it is if you have a video that isn't like so specific like this, like, you know, single lines running along. All you would need to do is if you cut the video in the middle and then stick two ends together and then crossfade it, it will loop through the crossfade over and over and over again. I'll give you an example of that in a moment with a different video. So once you've got that, you just compile the video. So let's do that. So we'll save the movie for a high definition display. Now let's call it my movie, whatever. There we go. Done. And then you simply grab a tile, grab the video, load it to the cloud. There we go. And there you have it. Now, it's not going to loop properly because of the way that I have like the background bits in there, like I was saying before. However, yeah, see, that's pretty much a perfect loop. And then all you need to do is import that little texture in to whatever you want, scale it up however it needs to be scaled, and you have yourself a rolling road. Actually, thinking about it, just looking at this with the little textures and whatnot below it, like the maps, you could actually build like a road and have like set it up over a bridge, having some textures underneath it. So actually have that looping through as well. So give yourself more depth. So if they're driving over a bridge, you could set that up with something like that as well. So yeah, that's how you can give yourself some more interesting environments rather than the static ones that we generally have. Now, another thing that I had done was for the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. In the Palace of the Heart's Desire for the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, there is a vortex of clouds that you are not able to fall into. So in order to make that more interesting, I created this little loop. I just recorded a small stretch of video from using screen capture on YouTube, using stock footage, free use is what I'm talking about, not non-copyrighted video. But because the loop wasn't a perfect loop, the way that I solved that was creating the white flash to coincide with one of the lightning bolts, so it sort of whites out and then the loop begins again. So that is another way that you can do loops if you need to. The trick is to sort of just cover up your imperfections, as it were, because there's nothing worse than when you see a video that is in a loop, but it is obviously in a loop because it jolts, and there's no smoothness to it. So yeah, that was the one that I created for that, because underneath that, if I was to delete this, it just looks like that, which again, nothing wrong with that, but I think if you wanted to make this a lot more interesting and more dynamic for your players, that is the way to do it. Another thing you can do as well, just going back on these, back with the videos, they also work as backgrounds. So check this out. Let us go to the mods. Let's find that lightning video. There it is, lightning. Grab the link for that, and then backgrounds, custom, and boom. So if you ever wanted to have a, for example, if you were playing a game where your adventuring party was flying through a storm cloud, you could build a map using this animation and just literally have just the map be the balloon flying through it. So there are a lot of options to this. Actually, I want to try something now that I just thought of that. I have a map here that was in the choo-choo file. Here we go. So this was a map from one of my games with like a static background, but I wonder what this would look like. Oh yeah, look at that. got actual animated storm clouds showing that they're traveling through a storm. Now, the lighting isn't quite right. You'd change that lighting to be more stormy. And you can see it's not a perfect loop, of course, because of the way that it links in there, but definitely gives a lot more of a dynamic and exciting look to your tabletop simulator maps. So, yeah. I hope this has been informative. I was very excited when I discovered that this was something that could be done. I actually can't take the credit for discovering that it works on backdrops. That was my son when he saw me doing the messing around with the floor of the Palace of the Heart's Desire. He suggested, would it work as a background? I said, no, well, I don't know. It might, but turns out that it does. So if you weren't aware that that is an option, now you know. And I hope this will help you create all sorts of exciting new maps in the future. So for now, thank you all very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. I have been your humble DM, Tim, and be sure to come back for more tips right here on Beyond the Screen. Bye!